seen all the good things come to me from above. If I would count all the blessings from the storehouse of love, I simply ask for the favor of Him beyond.
Alright, we're on our third video here. Alright, difficulty feeding. And it's for model 734DW only. And I'm not for sure what this is. Yep, it's a DW. So it's only for this one. The difficulty feeding has two indentations, feed teeth, one front A and one rear B. Each set of feed teeth has an individual feed mechanism which enable them to feed at different speeds. And this is the way that it looks. Make sure you can see what I'm seeing. 2.0 difficulty feed. When set for 2.0 difficulty feed, the front feed teeth A makes a longer stroke than the rear feed teeth B. This has the effect of alkaline material under the pressure foot to offset the weaving on the fabric, which would be this one. I don't know why it's so dark over here on this side. Alright. 0.7 difficulty feed. When set of 0.7 difficulty feed, the front feed teeth A makes a shorter stroke than the rear feed teeth B. This has an effect of stitching material under the pressure foot to offset the pricking on the fabric. Alright, and then this one is. So, from the looks of this, the needle don't go straight down. It goes in sideways. Is that one like that? Yep, it sure is. Never even really noticed that. Alright. Setting difficult feed. Set by simple turning the difficult feed control lever in the direction desired, referring to the chart below. The adjustment can be made between 0.7 negative effect and a 2 positive effect. These settings give the best rate of feeding. For normal sewing, the lever should be set at 1. Alright, so it looks like that this right here, the one we've already done, and I think I put it on 2. The adjustment can be made between 7 and 8. Okay, I already read that. For normal sewing, the lever should be set at 1. The lever can be reset even while sewing. When the lever is set at the maximum of 2 inches, the stitch length deal can be set at up to 4 inches. When the lever is set at 2 inches, you attempt to reset the stitch length dial at more than 4, the lever returns to 1 automatically. This avoids jamming, which may be caused by exclusive material feeding. Alright, effect and application. Weaver feed seam gathering 2.0 difficult feed. So this right here is showing you the different ones. No difficulty feed, normal feed 1. Pucker feed system 0.7 difficulty feed. Alright, and then that one. Pressure foot regulator. Pressure foot pressure has been correctly set at the factory, so you do not need to adjust it for most of the ordinary sewing. Adjustment is necessary. Turn the foot pressure regular clockwise to increase or counterclockwise to decrease pressure. And there it is, which it is this right here. Narrow and rolling edge needle, plate, and foot. When first delivering, your machine will be fitted with the standard needle plate and pressure foot, which is used for most overlock sewing. Your machine is always supplied with needle plate and pressure foot for narrow, about 2 millimeters, and rolled edge, and are marked with R. So that's what these pictures right here are. Standard needle plate and pressure foot. Needle plate and pressure foot for narrow rolled edges. Alright, changing to needle plate and pressure foot plate for narrow rolled edge. First, disconnect machine from power supply by removing plug from socket outlet. During the change operation, be careful to keep the fingers away from both cutters. Unthread machine. Raise needle to their highest point by turning hand wheel towards you, and also raise pressure foot. Open both front and side cover plate. Loosen thumb screw and remove standard pressure foot. Remove right needle and use the left needle only. Place pressure foot for narrow, rolled edge, and secure with thumb screw. Take off standard needle plate by removing screw B and lifting plate up from guide pin C figure 1. That is right here. Place needle plate for narrow rolled edge into position and secure with screw. Machine adjustment and chart for narrow and rolled edge. Narrow overlock edge, rolled edge with 3 threads, with 2 threads. Use needle plate and pressure foot for narrow rolled edge. Needle plate and pressure foot. Overage width 5 to 4, 5 to 4. Stitch length 1.5 to 2, 1 to 2. Needle 75, 90, 11, or 14. 75, 11. Thread for needle, polyester, nylon, silk, number 50 to 100. Nylon number 100. Upper looper, lower looper, polyester, nylon, silk, number 50 to 100. Bulk nylon, less stitchable. Bulk nylon, less stitchable. And they give you an illustration right here, so if you can see it. Yep, we're going to go on up. Tension, let's see, thread tension, control, or left needle. We're not going to do this one. But you got 3, 3, 5. Upper level, 2 and 2. Lower level, 2, 6, and 2. The best tension for one fabric may not be correct for other. The required tension depends upon the stiffness and the thickness of fabric, thread size, and type. If necessary, readjust referring to the above tension balance guideline. When overlocking fine, scarf-like materials with the narrow edge, set stitch length between 3 and 4 and decrease thread tension slightly. Buddy, when we get done with this book, we're going to get busy on trying to figure out what we're going to do. Alright. Basic techniques. Turning outside corners without cutting thread. When you reach the fabric edge, stop stitching with the needles above the fabric. Raise the pressure foot and gently pull on the thread chain just enough to clear the stitch finger. Turn the fabric lower and the pressure foot and the beginning stitches in the new direction, figure 1. That would be right here. When overlooking and timing at the same time, cut the fabric along the new stitch line for about 3 centimeters before turning the fabric, figure 2, which is this one. Turning curved edges. For inside curve, guide fabric gently with trimming line of the fabric. Line of fabric under the right front of the pressure foot, or a little to the left, applying pressure at point A in the direction of the arrow with your left hand, and at the same time applying a little opposite pressure at the point B with your right hand, figure 3. That would be right here. Seaming and overcasting in one operation. Place the right side of the fabric together and position under the pressure foot so that the left needle sews along the seam line. If you have made a 5/8 or 7/8 inch seam allowance, line up with the fabric with the guideline number 5/8 or 7/8 on the front cover, making sure that the over edge width is set at the same standard width at 5 millimeters. And that will probably be that line. Removing stitches from sewed fabric. To remove stitches already sewn, snip off needle thread at individual and pull out looper threads. Covered overlock. Alright. Cord overlock can be used in strengthening shoulder, sleeves, or side seam when joining or making up knitted garments. As a decorative feature, you can use knitting yarn. Use knitting yarn of contrast colors to further the enhance of your garment. Your superlock is equipped with the pressure foot, which has been designed to feed your cord or yarn to the left of the safety switch or to the right. Follow instructions below. I don't have any other foot to go over, to look at. So we're just going to go on. Alright. Place a filler cord, which is crocheted cotton, grump, wool, knitted yarn, or sharpening elastic at the rear of the machine spool pin. Press the cord through the cord guide 1 and 2, and then through the left needle thread guide 3, figure 1. So this right here would be it. Insert the cord through either the front or rear hole according to the operation. See diagram figure 1 and 2 in the pressure foot and pass it under and the rear of the foot. So that would be this one. Make sure you can see it pretty good. Place the material to be sewn as normal. Start at slow speed, observing if cord is feeding correctly, and increase speed as needed. For joining shoulder or sleeves, pass the cord through the front hole, ensuring that it fit between the left and the right needle thread as it is guided through the front hole. For joining side seam, pass the cord through the rear hole, ensuring it is positioned in the right needle thread, figure 3. For decorative effects, you may pass contracting colors either through the front or rear hole, or if you desire, pass cord for yarn through each hole. Okay, that is something we may want to look into. Alright, decorative effect. In addition or normal overlocking, which is fully described in this illustrated book, your machine can also be used for a number of decorative applications or applicants, which such a decorative top stitch, button seams, pin tacking, or making length of decorative bead. See below. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I turned that light down. I hope it helps some. Decorative top stitching using only 2 threads. Model 734 DW only. Fold fabric along the line to be top stitched and sew over the folded edge, making sure not to cut into the fold, figure A, which is right here. I don't know why it's so dark over here on this side. But anyway, alright. Unfold the fabric, pull the end of the thread to the underside and press flat. The final appearance can be enhanced by using buttonholes, twist or embroidery thread on the lower looper. Button seam using only 2 threads. Model 734D only, or DW. Place 2 pieces of fabric wrong sides together and overlock along the edge. Unfold and press. By using different color fabrics and thread, by pleasing patchwork effects can be achieved. Pin tacking using the 3 threads. Fold fabric along a line to be pinned, tucked, and overlocked. Sew along the folded edges, making sure not to cut into the folded edge of the fabric. Pull ends of the thread to the underside and press. Well, our car is wet on the inside because our windows are down. Alright, let's see what we can do about this last one. Make a decorative braid using 3 threads. Overlock over a cord or bead, holding it carefully with both hands. That'd be something to look at. Alrighty, narrow and rolled edge. Narrow and rolled edge is identical for use on thin materials such as Georgic grape, D-chain, silk, etc. I ain't never heard of those. Now, silk I have. A narrow edge formed by overlooking the fabric edge by 2 millimeters in width, as shown in figure 1. And that's this one. A rolled edge is formed by adjusting the thread tension so that the fabric is overlocked, rolled under the secure as shown in figure 2. Alright, I got a dog that's trying to get underneath my stool here. In addition to the above finishing, a very pleasing shell edge can be produced, particularly when sewing on a fine, secure, scarf-like materials, as shown in figure 3, which is right here. In view of the nature of these hems, they are unstable for use on hard or heavy materials. To make these hems proceed as follows. Alright, I had to take care of my dog. I think I'm right here, but I'm not for sure. So if I overread, I don't mean to. To make these hems proceed as follows. Remove right needle and use left needle only. Fit the special needle plate and pressure foot supply in the accessory box, page 21. Use the appropriate size and type of thread as suggested in the chart on page 23. Thread tension for these type of hems will differ from normal overlocking, particularly with different types of fabric. Study the recommended in the chart and adjust the tension controls accurately. Stitch length should normally be between 1 and 2. Always test the stitch and tension setting on the scrap of fabric you intend using before starting to sew on the actual garment. I grew it up. A narrow rolled edge is no problem when fabrics are pre-washed. With pre-washing, you will not have to worry about dismantling charges or shrinking or rough outside edge as will occur on the stitched or stiff material. Hence on sewing sharp corners with narrow unrolled edges. To sew sharp corners with a narrow unrolled edge, you must first understand the function of your overlock machine. Your machine is designed to make a narrow unrolled edge on soft portable material, pliable material, or of course, after one edge is rolled and you try to make a sharp corner with another rolled edge, the corner position distorts. This trouble is caused by change in the fabric. The corner of this once soft material is now stiff rolled edge, which tends to gather instead of rolling. There are two solutions to this problem. Start the second row edge just below the rolled portion. Cut the corner diagonally and start your rolled edge directly on the cut edge. Important. When starting the second row, grab the 3-thread chain and pull directly to the rear or back to remove the threads from the stitch finger of needle. Alright, going over here. Plate. Then start your sewing on edge shown as figure 1 or 2, pulling the 3 threads and material gently to the rear. Proceed to sewing normally. Difficulty feed applications. On an overlock machine with no difficulty feed features, perking and weaving are always unavailable on some materials. For example, woven fabric tend to contract when sewn. On the other hand, knit fabric tend to stretch when sewn. Difficult feeding is designed to minimize perking and weaving. It is also very effective for gathering. Puckering tends, I don't know what that word is. Puckering. Okay, there we go, puckering. Puckering tends to occur on woven or sheer fabric. To attain pucker-free seams, set the adjustment lever at less than 1. Wavering. Wavering tends to occur on knitted or stretchable fabric. To obtain weaver-free seams, set the control lever at more than 1. Gathering. Difficult feeding makes gathering easier on lightweight fabric. Use it on waistline, sleeves, head, sleeve buttons, and rifles, etc. Set the control lever between 1.5 and 2 to obtain the best gathering effects for your use. I don't see how that thing can make buttons. I don't see how it can make buttonholes. I don't. Important. For exact adjustment depends on the thickness and the elasticity of the fabric. Even the stitch length can influence the setting. The longer the stitches, the more the fabric is contracted. Always do a test run with pieces of actual fabric you use and find the best setting. I got a cat that wants to go out and it's raining. Caring for your machine. Replace moving cutter. Replace a moving cutter if it becomes blunt as follows. A spare cutter will be found in your accessories. Don't have them. Note, you should not need to replace fixed cutter, which is made of a special hard alloy material. So if your cutter goes bad and you don't have one, you got to buy one. And I have no idea how much they are. First, remove the power plug from the supply socket outlet. Open side cutter and loosen screw from protection cover. Take out protection cover, figure 1, right here. Loosen screw and take out moving cutter, figure 2, which is right here. Close the side cover, lower cutter, driving arm to its lowest position by turning the hand wheel towards you by hand. In this position, set replacement cutter in position and secure it with screw, ensuring that the edge of the moving cutter is approximately 0.5 millimeters below the surface of the fixed cutter. Replace protection cover, figure 1. Designing moving cutter, diagnosing moving cutter. If you want to sew without cutting, open the side cover and disengage the moving cutter by pushing the cutter release knob to the left and turning it towards you as illustrated. Ensure that fabric edge is not wider than over edge with selected or upper looper, and needle can be damaged. Alright, from the time that I see here, we're going to come back. We're on page 32. So we got one more to go. I thought maybe this one would be the last one, but of course it ain't. Alright, so let's go and get this right here edited. How to donate to Poor Man's Sewing. Mash on Poor Man's Sewing. Come up here to the top. Go to About. And right here, donate to Poor Man's Sewing.